Welcome back. So not so long ago I purchased myself an Anycubic Kobra S3 with the multi-filament combo unit, and as a newbie to 3D printing I found it super easy. I was able to get going very quickly, and I've printed some bits and pieces. Of course, the first print I printed was a benchy. I've printed some, there's a little box here, another little box here. My main thing was to print some Gridfinity stuff, and I've actually started doing this here. You can see I've got this drawer with Gridfinity, but I wanted to print some larger things. So currently this Anycubic S3, the maximum grid size I can print is a 5x5, and I wanted to go up to bigger than that. So what I've done, I've gone and ordered myself a Anycubic Kobra 3 Max, and it was delivered yesterday, but I'm just kind of shocked at how big the box is. It's absolutely huge. Yeah, it's really kind of large. So, let's go about opening her up. Now this cost me just over 3,000 RMB, because currently the government in Shenzhen are running a promotion where you can get 15% off certain goods, and this fell within that category. Okay, so it's obviously very well packaged. I must say the S3 was very well packaged as well, but this is a significantly larger printer than the S3. Okay, so this is the multiple filament unit here. We have a couple of large bars here which I'll get out and put there. I believe this requires some level of self-assembly. The S3 comes pretty much assembled, and whereas this Max doesn't. Okay, so wow, it is a huge bed on that. Right. This looks like part of the frame, so let's take this and just put it over here. I don't want to damage anything, so we need to be very careful. Oh, it's very big. It's actually somewhat larger than I expected, but okay. And just to give you an idea, you can see this is the build plate of this, and this is the build plate of the let's put it in the same. This is the build plate of the S3, and this is the build plate of the 3 Max. So it is significantly larger, this one is, than the S3. So you have to get some really large prints going on this. So I'm excited to get it up and running, but first we need to build it. I'm not quite sure, but I guess this might be the front, because it's got the badge on for 3, and this is, as I say, the Max version. We've got a couple of cables here, cable over here, cable over here, and yeah, as you can see, the bed sort of moves backwards and forwards like this. So what else do we have in the box? We have a bag of parts here with a USB drive, so filament, lots of screws. We have a power cable. We have some more cables, other power cables. Maybe they're for that's some sort of communications cable. This looks like power cables for 2 power cables. I'm not sure why there's 2 power cables. Then we have, let's get in here and have a look what else we got. We have a manual and something with some QR codes on. I guess that's so you can get videos for building instructions. This looks like the head Yep, that's definitely the head. So we'll put that there, be very, very careful. Okay, we have some plastic parts here. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what all these are yet, but I'm sure it will become obvious as we start building. Another sort of, I think that, oh, that's the display panel. So yeah, there's quite a lot of parts, and I guess if you're not used to self-assembly, finally that's the unit for the multiple filament. Let's get everything on here. So, just the print head, the display, and some plastic parts here. I'm not sure where this is from and what it is. Maybe it'll come clear when we look at the instructions. Okay, so let's see what we have in this bag here. So we got a pack of screws, USB drive, some filament, some more screws, a set of Allen keys, some little spacers, some more tools, more screws, more screws, some silicone grease. This is a head cleaning tool if the nozzle gets clogged. Right, okay, so first things first, let's have a look at the manual. The manual, okay, tells you all the parts you've got in the bag. So the first thing is to attach this by the looks of it, so let's do that. And that's the large one into there, and then we've got the two smaller ones on this side. And let's have a look. Although it requires a bit of assembly, it's not the most difficult kind of assembly to do. I think it's fairly straightforward. It's basically just screwing a number of bolts and nuts in, plugging cables in, etc. So yeah, I don't think it's too complex. Make sure they're nice and tight, because the last thing you want is screws on your 3D printer to be vibrating loose when you're printing. That would not be good. So just tighten that one up. Make sure this one's nice and tight. Oh, that's not very tight yet. Okay, let's make sure that's a bit tighter. Okay, that's all good and tight. Now there's a little, you can probably see here, this little cable then comes around and plugs into here, which is the that's obviously to drive the stepper motor. So there we go, that's in there. It's not going to touch anything. Right, we're going to swivel it around and get the bolts in the other side. Okay, so that's the other side done. Bolts are in and the cable to the stepper motor. Okay, so we're now going to attach these stabilizing bars, and it's, remember, important there's a left and a right, so right with right. And the bottom one has this kind of spacer on. This kind of spacer here, so put that over there, and then we will screw this into here. Very big chunky bolts. This obviously will give the printer some level of rigidity. That's the top one, and that's the bottom one. So we need to screw those in tight, and then we need to do the same with the left hand side. Right, so that's got both of the bars attached to give it some rigidity, and let's see what's next. Maybe we cut these packing ties off next. Okay, so next, this is the print head. We have to insert this USB-C cable into here. like so, and then we have to put 2 screws in these holes here. I guess that's just to hold it in place tightly. So there's 2 just underneath here, and then there's 1 each side of here. So let's get the other 2 in, so all 4 are done. Now the print head is fixed. We can fix the bracket that will hold the display. So here you can see like a little plug with connectors, and then there's a corresponding one on the display here. So we just have to line that up and then put the, I think, 2 or 3 screws in. I guess it's like that. Push it in here, like that, and then we just got to get the screws in. Right, so that's a screen attached. Take this packaging off. So now this cable here has to plug into here. Come on, can't get it in. Just need to line it up. There we go. That's in and strong. So next, let's have a look. It's taking shape. It's starting to look like a 3D printer now. So I think now let's get the stuff to deal with filament in there, I think. So this is the Anycubic Ace Pro, which is to feed multiple filament, and this also acts as a dryer as well. It's exactly the same one as on this S1 here. There's no difference, but if you're using PETG, it will also dry your filament. As you know, if you're printing with PETG, you need to dry your filament first for best results. Okay, so first things first, we need to attach these filament feed tubes to the back of the Ace Pro. It's a little bit fiddly because you've got these small little connectors, but let's do that now. It's a bit tricky. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that's the 4 filament feed tubes attached to the back of the Ace Pro. So we also need to connect this cable to the back of the Ace Pro unit, and this will then, oh, is it a big one? Yeah, it's the 6th one here, isn't it? To the back of the Ace Pro unit, and then that will plug into the printer so it can communicate between the printer and the Ace Pro. So we then need to thread the filament feed tubes up through here and plug them into the head, just like this. Now we need to plug the cable from the Ace Pro into the printer. It's a little bit dark, I can't see very well, but yeah, that just clips in there. Got a couple of USB ports here. Right, we now got to put because this is all flopping about, we've got to get the cable tidies and sort all this out now, so that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, now we've got it built, it's time to power up. The switch is just over here. We'll also power on the this unit here. Okay, so it's this is powered up. This is doing some sort of initialization. Select the language, English. Okay, we're in China. Next. It's now scanning for the Wi-Fi. Right, let's put it through all its paces. It's moving. Bed's moving. All things are moving. It's doing its diagnostics now, so let's wait until that's finished and see what happens. So get some more filament loaded into this. Let's do that now. Shut that. And what I like to do, I like to give this bed a clean with some alcohol. And any grease it removes, so you don't get problems with it sticking. So get some isopropyl alcohol on a tissue like this, and I'll just wipe the bed completely over, and that removes any grease that will be on there. If you have grease on there, it tends to affect how your first layer sticks to the bed. So I just want to do that to make sure it's all okay. I've registered the printer in my account, so let's see if we can print Anycubic Kobra 3 Max. Okay, we've got, hang on. Can start print. It says it's sending it. So let's see if this starts receiving it. Okay, it's receiving the print, which is a good start. So it's doing its thing. Resonance, calibration. I guess that's some sort of vibration. Oh, it's making a lot of noise, so okay, interesting. Anyway, it's all ready to print, so let's see what happens. As I said earlier, one of the main reasons I wanted this printer is I want to be able to print much larger things. This has a print bed of 420 by 420 by 500, so you can print pretty big prints with this. It says it's preheated. As you can see, the temperature of the nozzle over here. This is coming down to 140. The bed is at 65 degrees. I've got a bit of grease on there, so I'll just clear that off. So it's going through some of its I don't know, calibration procedure, I guess it is. But so far this has been really pretty easy to set up. You do need a bit of building knowledge, but it's basically just screwing bolts into holes to put it together. I was super pleased with this Anycubic S1. It was very easy to get together. So now I'm trying this Kobra 3 Max, and from what I understand it's a pretty good printer. Now this cost me just over 3,000 RMB. I think that was kind of similar. I think this was slightly more expensive actually, maybe 3,500, but the beauty is living in China, I'm able to get this stuff like really cheap. I mean this this PLA filament cost me about £4.50 a roll, something like that, which is way cheaper than I guess if you bought it in the US or the UK. It's still doing some calibration. Okay, so we've got the filament now feeding in. You'll probably see it come along the pipe soon. You can see it will be coming down the pipe any second, and it will be entering the print head. Okay, so the print head's at 230 now. All still looking good. So I'm printing this very simple 2 tray Gridfinity box. Okay, so the fan's kicked up on the print head, and it looks like we are printed. So sending this large print to it. So this is a 9x10 Gridfinity base plate with a spacer here. So it's sending it now. It's a 4-hour print, but this is giving the printer a test. I've adjusted a couple of the settings because there was one of these that seemed to have warped when I did these tests. This one was a bit warped from the bed. There was some issues here with it, so I'm not really sure why that was. Was the bed not hot enough? I don't know, but anyway, I've adjusted these settings to the same as the Kobra S1 for the nozzle heat and things like that. So let's see how this gets on. It's quite a big print. It should take up a majority of the bed, so let's see how it does. So this does a bed leveling operation, and it takes some time because it is a huge bed, as you can see, 420 by 420, so this does take a little bit of time. So it's here we go. We're starting to print a huge base plate. I can't believe how big this is. It's kind of really big. It's not as big as some of the printers I've seen in China. I've actually seen printers here in China that can literally print the size of me. You know, 6 foot tall and, you know, very big. I've seen some of those printers. They're absolutely amazing. But this is doing its stuff, and it's pretty good by the looks of it. It's the first layer's looking very, very good, so we'll see how it continues and what it looks like at the end. So we're almost done. It's looking like it's done a good job. According to this, we have 37 minutes left. And there we have it. And hopefully this should be a perfect fit for these Gridfinity bins. Oh yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Look at that. Super good. Right, let's take the print off the bed. Wow. That is an absolutely massive print. Look at the size of that. Oh, that is a huge 9x10 Gridfinity base plate. And it took about 4 hours to print that, but it's done a really good job. I'm very, very pleased with that, and hopefully that will fit right into my drawer. So let's go give it a try. So let's see if it fits okay. Hopefully it will. Absolutely perfect. Look, it's absolutely spot on. That's great. So get another one printed for this side, and then that's another drawer done. I've made some caddies here. So this one's for hard drives, this one power banks, and then this one is for SSD drives, and they all just fit in like that. So the plan is to have every drawer all done in Gridfinity, so I can get the space and my workshop, which is a bit of a mess, I can get it all absolutely tidy. Okay, so that gives you an idea of building and doing a first large print on the Kobra 3 Max combo. I'm really pleased with the first print, and think about giving a subscribe and a thumbs up to the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.